Latest coming in, the results in the Iowa Democratic caucuses have been delayed, plunging the party into chaos. Reports suggest that technical failures have led to inconsistencies in the caucus results. Rumors of all kinds of technical failures flew across the state, and representatives from the campaigns were talking with the Iowa Democratic Party leaders. Earlier, reports suggested that the users were facing issues while logging in. Many also opted to use the telephone hotline to report, which can in turn slow down the process of getting the results. The communication director of Iowa Democratic Party has said that photos of results and a paper trail is also being used to come to a conclusive result. She also said that this is a reporting issue and that it did not go down, and that this is not a hack or an intrusion. Meanwhile, the Republican caucuses of Iowa has voted for Donald Trump as a presidential nominee. This was an expected vote result, as Trump is facing no significant opposition from within the Republican Party. Trump won the Republican contest with 97% of the votes. Donald Trump is seeking a second term in the Oval Office. Now, let's begin by understanding how Democrats pick their presidential candidates. The caucuses and primaries start months and sometimes years before the main elections. The candidates start their campaign trails with speeches, promises, fundraisers and debates. Above all, the goal for the candidates is to convince voters that they are the right candidate in their whole party to defeat their Republican opponent, in this case being Donald Trump. Now, how does a candidate become a nominee? It's all about winning delegates, and that is done by competing in states across the entire country. A few states matter more than the other states. By tradition, Iowa goes first, and so it becomes the most important one. After Iowa, the race moves to the next three big states: New Hampshire, Nevada, and South Carolina. These four states are the key to winning nominations. They narrow down the competition and gives the momentum to key nominees. So the first caucus is a big opportunity for a candidate to pull away from the rest of the pack. The key to this game is to score delegates in state after state after state. There are nearly 4,000 delegates, 3,979 to be exact. Whichever candidate wins the most of the available delegates wins the nominations. But the primary contest is not likely to end with most delegates. If a rival has the campaign's resources, the money, they can stand in the radius and fight until the end. Now that the Iowa caucus have arrived, the 2020 election is officially upon us. Now we lay out the possible winners from Iowa caucus. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders is in a tight race with former Vice President Joe Biden. Elizabeth Warren and Pete Buttigieg are trailing behind with a close margin. All signs, energy, polling campaign and debating point to a victory for Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders at the Iowa caucus. Sanders has never really stopped running for president since he lost the nomination to Hillary Clinton in 2016. He is popular with the working class voters and calls himself a democratic socialist. If Sanders wins Iowa, it's hard to see him losing New Hampshire 8 days later. As the former vice president and national frontrunner, Joe Biden has a legitimate chance to win as well, thanks to former President Barack Obama. Biden maintains a strength with the African-American voters. Apart from campaigning, he has been pouring money into Iowa TV ads backing his candidacy. He has also served in the Senate for decades. Now, regardless of where he finishes in Iowa, Pete Buttigieg has cemented his status as the breakout star of the 2020 presidential campaign. He is the youngest mayor candidate in the race to the White House. Buttigieg seems to be in a similar spot to where Barack Obama was in 2008 going into the Iowa caucus. He's shown massive promise as a candidate and already exceeded expectations. But Democratic voters still seem to be in a bit of a wait-and-see mode. Elizabeth Warren, the Massachusetts senator, has been flagging for months now as Sanders appears to have emerged as the top choice. But Warren's organization strength is big, effective, and has been up and running at full strength longer than anyone else in the field. She helped set up a Consumer Financial Protection Bureau under Obama administration and promises big structural changes for this presidential race.